is valid question. Can you say how such a question was formed in your mind? Your own theory about how such a question was formed in your mind. The answer is pretty easy. Come on.
I was not into the concept, or I was not subscribing to the concept of rebirth or past births or anything. This life is this life and that's it.
Now the question is how you came to this question.
Yeah.
You are answering to that, right?
Yeah.
Alright, do it.
So recently I came across some books and some videos and some perspectives where this and some people told me that this can't be a once lifetime or acquired something, knowing or whatever, or this won't come to you otherwise than past lives, karma or anything. That's a word they used. I mean, I don't know the meaning of it. So now, and when it's told that it's originality or original self, what is that original self which we are looking for? So if there is a predestined or if there is a already set path or purpose, why is it taking long for people to figure out, and why is it difficult for people to figure out? Or is there something like that? I'm completely open to any sort of this thing. So I was randomly questioning all what I heard. It's not my experience anyway, so...
And they are random questions, but how serious this question is?
I really would like to know, but nothing of that significance, but I would love to...
You really want to know about what?
Is there a defined purpose, and is that purpose predestined?
Then we have a choice? How this question originated in you? Okay. To that, what was your answer? You gave a lot of things. Come on, say that answer precisely. Because it originated in you.
Yeah.
You should be able to say precisely what all factors, what all variables, what all ideas, what all events or what all experiences led you to this question. Say that.
So,
when you are training in creative analytic thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, I am the only one trainer in the whole world who can do this the way I do it. So you have to know what is going on.
Yes.
Okay, clear. And creative analytic thinking is the thinking by which everything in this world was discovered. Starting with the safety pin to the satellite, to the mobile phone, to the radars, to the robots. And finally, the only thinking that will eventually trigger you to cross the gateless gate to enlightenment, without which nobody can. Even if you meditate in the Himalayas for a lifetime, nothing will happen. Clear? Okay. So, this kind of sentences will not be repeated.
Okay.
Conceptualize that answer properly. Question is?
Is there a destined plan for?
No, my question.
Conceptualization.
No. My question. What was my question?
How did I arrive at this question? I'm only wondering. So when I went through the concept of originality, which was there in your videos.
And then having read certain books on karma.
So came across something. So if I am becoming my original self, or I am working towards becoming my original self, is it something predestined which I am to be discovered, or is there a choice to become something which I can't figure out, or doesn't come to my understanding yet?
Will you remember all this to be written in your daily report?
I will try.
When you are going to be here for some totally at least 30 days to begin with,
okay.
Every day morning you have to give a report of the previous day.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
With a purpose.
Yeah.
You can ask me, you can question me.
Okay.
So why do I want to do this? You can ask me.
Okay.
Do not restrict your question presupposing that sometimes this guy may not be able to explain, he will be in difficulty and all that. I will not be in difficulty. Even if I am in difficulty, I know how to manage it and I will be able to resolve it. Okay? Be absolutely free and freak out.
Sure.
Freak out with your questions, okay? Got the point? Yeah. Okay. You have not done the conceptualization of this point properly. Anyway, it's a very first interaction with a person like me. I am a very, very tough guy. Nobody in this world existing now, including Eckhart Tolle or Osho or anybody. I may not be above them, but that's a different story which I am telling you. So do not worry about all this. Okay? Because I am the only one in the world who did research on eccentricity and genius and enlightenment and destiny. Only one. And I am the only one who clearly delineated, differentiated, discerned the difference between creativity, originality or creation, originality, invention, discovery and innovation. I am the only one. There are tens of thousands of so-called highly paid, so-called well-known, world-renowned creativity researchers and writers. They even interchange using it. That means they are not clear what is creativity and what is originality. That is the evidence. That's my evidence, which I can be sure now just because of the wonder of internet. So do not worry about that. I am sure you don't worry about that. Yeah. But I said if there is a trace of worry, and I appreciate you really, okay, you are able to maintain that discipliness of the mind. Okay. Good. And let me tell you, Meenakshi also was able. Otherwise, the first day, if you have already given the fees, that money will be returned and saved. Even if I spend 2 days of valuable interaction, which they cannot get from anywhere, even though that entire fees can be there for that 2 days, I don't want. Because I want you to be involved by that. Like when you become a real master, you will know what I mean. A great dance teacher would like to get the greatest student, am I right? Yeah, true. That's actually for her fulfillment. Secret fulfillment. Nobody would know. Yeah. You know who was the coach of Sachin Tendulkar? I don't know. No, I don't think I have asked this question to cricket lovers. They don't know. He is secretly enjoying it somewhere.
Yeah. I don't remember his name. First coach.
Anyway, many cricketers would not know. Anyway, he is never as known as Sachin Tendulkar. The greatest coach is always hidden. Because he is fulfilled. After all. That's enough for him. That's the way with the film directors also. They know it is my product. The great heroes are worshipped and glorified, but he remains unknown. And he is quite comfortable with that. I have interviewed at least 4 or 5 well-known film directors, including Ritik Khattak and Mrinan Sen. But Satyajit was not available at that time, he was already dead. And by that time, now I don't need to interview anybody. I have interviewed Jesus Christ, Buddha and Krishna. Because I treat the Bible as the report of my interview. It's an interview protocol. Yeah. You should also develop that competence. I consider the Bible as answers to my questions. If I interview somebody, I do that only, right? So that's what I said. So, coming back, having done research in destiny, the answer is yes. It is predetermined. Because you did not create you. Nor your father and mother created you. there was some other, what I call an invariant agency. What is invariant, variant, etc. we will discuss later. Having asked this question, that's why I said don't ask simply random questions. We will go in a different path, building from 0 to omega, alpha to omega, where you will get answers to all the questions of that kind, and you will be able to answer to all the questions by anybody. That's my purpose. So for which, though there is no system, but there is a hidden system. That is in my mind. I know what are the preparations required for that kind of a mindset and an intellect and an intelligence and the spirit and even the body. So I will prepare body with the rasayanas, and I will prepare intellect, which is the most powerful. Many people even know what is intellect. And your mind will get automatically prepared. I may not do many things to do with your mind and so-called things. Okay? That is because there is nothing called mind. Okay. So, and your spirit. Alright? So, having asked this question, the answer is yes. So, I began by saying that you did not create you, obviously, and as many billions of people in the world believes your father and mother also did not create you. They did a sexual activity programmed by the nature process. It was not to create a child and all that. Maybe nowadays, what you call important people who are treated, they may be doing a sexual activity not to create a child. Even then they do not know which particular activity led to particular pregnancy. So something that led them, but a certain sexual activity only led to, in one ejaculation there are 30 to 40 million sperms. One of them happens to reach the, not egg, happens to penetrate the outer shell of the egg. These 30 million sperms are actually 30 million beings. But of course, there is only one egg. Okay? So, which sperm happened to reach there? Was it an act of randomness, or was it an act of coincidence, or was it a certain force operating? So, there must be a force without which that cannot be there. No doubt. And that force is the invariant aspect of this planet Earth. At least. We don't know about the universe and all those things. So, that is called the essence, the primary aspect of a huge lot of variables in destiny. Now, the next point is, that is in a way determined. What? That is by the mindset, so-called mindset. That means the mental processes or the history of mental process of the man and the woman. History. I mean the total effect of that. Then the mindset, the mental process during the sexual activity. Okay. Then third, much more important, the kind of thought process, the kind of responses, responses, the kind of behaviors, the kind of activities, the kind of relationships and dialogues and interactions, and the kind of thought process of the mother body during about roughly 180 days. That means after the so-called brain is formed. That human entity is almost formed by the 90th day, approximately. So the brain is the first thing that is developed. So all these are affected in the so-called destiny of the coming child. That's why in the ancient times there is a science called, roughly in English called eugenics. It was the idea originally of Aristotle, and the entire Christian community or the local community and clergies of that time vehemently opposed it and crushed it down. Because that's for the social purpose. Okay? Because what Aristotle said was a little bit polemic, questionable also. He said only healthy man and woman should be allowed to marry and have a child. He understood that body part. But in ancient Indian Ayurveda, it is very clearly specified, detailed 1, 2, 3, 4. on what date and what time the man should have sexual intercourse with the woman. Okay? And what they should do in case of man, 3 weeks before that, what kind of food he should eat, what kind of people with whom he should interact, what kind of thought process he should have, what kind of environment he should be living. Man, for 3 weeks. Okay. And for woman, 3 months. Because one egg is formed every month. So into that kind of a tuned physiological universe, the egg should be formed. In that kind of a tuned man's body, the sperm should be formed. That's why there are restrictions. And once the conception has happened, there are hell of a lot of restrictions for the pregnant woman. What sort of things, what all pictures should be hung in her room, what all flowers she should smell, what all time she should take bath, where she should take bath, what kind of dress she should wear, what kind of color should the dress have, what kind of toys, chelas, the servant maid she should have, what kind of people with whom she should interact, what kind of people look at her, what kind of people she should interact, it's already mentioned. What kind of food, of course, strict rules. What kind of tests, what kind of classic tests she should listen to. Her most intelligent interpreting girl should read out to her Kalidas Saguntalam or Kadambari Sangraham or whatever. Okay? Great poetry, the greatest musicians, the greatest philosophers, the greatest seers, all will come and talk to her from behind the screen. Yeah. And at the age of 14, he will command an army. Okay. That is why little bit of rudimentary practice are available in the society today. Why marriage, there is a time. Okay. And ideally, the man should have sexual intercourse on that day. And the conception should happen on that day, ideally. That is that time. Or there is a next time. Nitin, when I said, or when you said, when every cat is a cat is a cat, when every rose is a rose is a rose, when every other entity in the planet Earth is of equal competencies, why do you think so? Because their sexual activities are timed. Cat and dog cannot have sexual activity at any point of time like the way a man does or a woman does. So naturally the normal distribution, the variation is by the variation of the timing of conception or variation in the timing of sexual intercourse. Why in general, as many other psychologists will do, like Francis Galton made a theory that highly creative people are born in the families of highly creative people. Yeah, and he created a theory of heredity, which is of course not completely correct. But his observations, his book is a book in which he has analyzed painstakingly the family tree of all highly creative people lived in England at that point of time. Her grandfather, all of them are very, very special people. Not all, but significant people. Because their mindset is that. And subsequently, some point of time later, I read another article that most of the highly competent people, etc., are born to university professors, researchers, scientists, etc. I did not read completely, I don't remember, but I have my own observation there. As so-called highly dedicated scientists, I know what they do. I know what a real research professor does. I know what a great other philosopher does. They are not all the time thinking about sex and all that. But when they will have a craving for sex when the natural biological rhythm is pushing them. You know, like sexual thought occurs in a man simply sitting in the office. Because their attention is focused on research. They are deeply into finding out, solving an equation. Okay, that is the principal focus, 99% focus. But then the biological process is happening, which is the programmed process. Nobody can learn sexual instinct from a university. It is programmed. And that when that programmed instinct in its top power, even at 12 o'clock in the midnight, even when he's close to the finding of the result, he feels like having a sexual activity. At that time he goes. Therefore, naturally, it is closer to the right time. Adding to what I told some time back, if there is a timing for the birds and the cats and the rats, there must be a timing for human birds also, no doubt about it. But having given the freewheeling intelligence, the normal human being does not know when to have it. They have it only when they get this natural tendency, most of the time triggered by some thinking, some visual, some memories, or some vision of mostly a sexually provoking girl, or when the body is touching with a female, sleeping together. That's what is the focus of sexual activity of most of the men? Nothing but somehow to have an ejaculation, that's all. There is not even a moment of appreciation for the female body. There is not a permission, there is not genuine tuning of the female body with the man. She is just agreeing, that's all. There is no so-called romance, there is no so-called elegance and beauty and completeness in sexual acts. And when millions of sexual acts are happening, statistical coincidence, when some illiterate, so-called illiterate and whatever kind of man and woman having a sexual intercourse, it happens to be at the right time. Then there is a Sudhamani or Amarthandamai. Then there is a Satyajit Ray. Then there is a Satyasai Baba. Then there is an Albert Einstein. Then there is a Rabindranath Tagore or a Ramanujan. They will have to. What is the background of Satyasai Baba? What is the background of Sudhamani and Amarthandamai? What is the background of any of this so-called great performers in the world? That's the point. Coincidentally correct, like millions of tickets. So one is taken and that ticket happens to be with you. So you get 25 crore. Similarly. I have gone little too far beyond the question. Whatever I say are required, not necessarily for your only for your knowing. So that I want you to interact with anybody in the world. You specified an extraordinary purpose for your life. I am a researcher. I have never read or heard anybody saying that at the age of 50 I want to just like make a telephone call to the topmost guy in the world and say, come on sir, I want to have a meeting with you. I wonder how could you have such a dream at all? What shall be the reason? There could be a configuration of reasons. Without reason, nothing is possible. So, that is your destiny. Such a question, such a goal to happen to you is the evidence of a destiny. You did not get that goal from your university, from your accounting firm, from your interaction with anybody, I suppose. Okay, I don't know whether you read in a book that somebody had that kind of a dream. I don't know. I am sure no.
Yeah.
But, so, how that as a young man you are doing something which is normally considered very different from any philosophical domain, like dealing with numbers, especially if you are a mechanical engineer or a particle physicist, I can understand it. But you belong to the mechanical rigid world of numbers where everything is so rigid. From that world, how come such a dream for you? That is the evidence of destiny. What exactly that evidence, you cannot know. Okay? Like the scene of occurrence, like the evidence for the crime is there. Okay. That evidence is the proof that the crime has happened. Crime, nobody saw that. Okay? So that's all. Now, but you had also a question, can it be achieved by actual planning also?
I think we have a choice.
A choice about?
I mean, changing.
Whether someone can choose to travel this path.
I mean, how do we know that is it genuine? Is that the purpose? Or is there something called divine purpose? That is the...
I cannot remind you every time. Okay. No, but it may be required. It's not easy to have proper consideration. Now your question is, again there are 2-3 questions. How do you know whether such a goal is genuine?
Yeah.
So what do you mean by genuine? Whether it is true, whether it is correct.
Is
What do you mean by genuine?
Like, is it connecting to my... Is it really connecting to my original... or
Wait. That's a good point. Wait.